Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of You Ought to Know Live, seen and heard live every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on YouAutoKnowLive.com. If you're watching this on archive, we'd love to have you join us live. And keep in mind, we're part of the Hangout10.com network. It's great to be with you. I'm Dave Serio, host of the radio program You Ought to Know, heard and seen live every Saturday morning, 7 a.m. to 12 noon, at daveserio.com. My name is spelled Daveserio, daveserio.com. Tonight we have, as always, some great folks from the automotive industry here to give us some advice, give us helpful information on what's going on in the automobile industry, both auto repair, detailing, even the supplying of expert quality-built engines and transmissions. So let's go to our first guest, and that would be Mr. Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good evening, Dave. How are you?
Good. I hope I wasn't frozen in time during that whole thing, but if I was, I apologize, and we're ready to get started. You're not frozen in time. You're in good shape.
Well, that's a matter of opinion, but I'm not frozen.
You are the owner of the what I call the Extreme Detail Shop, which is the Shine Shop. You're in Reisterstown, Maryland,
Yep.
and your website is theshineshopAutoDetailing.com, and you detail some of the finer cars in the Maryland area, but also daily drivers too. You've got a just regular 3 Series BMW behind you.
Yeah, we do. We do a little bit of everything. We have a new Hyundai. I think it's a Hyundai. A Santa Fe. Is that a Hyundai? Coming in Friday. We got referred from Jose's car show, so that'll be nice to see that gentleman finally. And
Very good.
do a little bit of everything.
Well, you should have said that in front of Jose's when they asked for a cut. Okay, I'm wrong. He won't ask for a cut. He'll demand a cut.
He'll demand it. Yes, there we go.
I see the difference right away with that. So yes, you probably should have mentioned that, but that's good. That, you're getting Jose's car show gave you one, and of course, the car behind you. We might as well say it now because I'll demand a cut.
That's
the car
right.
behind you is from the radio program.
Yeah, we have gotten quite a few customers from your radio show, and you referred to me, and we appreciate it, and that's why you have appointments.
There you go. There you go. I'm still, hey, I don't know. Maybe after today, I don't know. We'll see what happens. These Alfa Romeos keep coming into the country, and with repairs need to be done. I'll be in April.
Yeah, that could be. It might be a steady job. You never know.
There you go. All right. So tell us a little bit about your business, sir.
Well, we're a little unusual as compared to most of the detail shops in our area. Anyway, we only book one car a day, maybe one car every 2 days, depending on what it needs. We have really a nice group of clientele that are enthusiastic about the way their car looks, so they allow us the extra time it takes to make the car look as close to perfect as we can. And we employ some different techniques that other people don't. We don't use rotary buffers at all. We use Italian machines that are designed for polishing paint. We use digital paint measurement, and we also have a digital microscope that we can look at defects to see if they can be safely removed. And we use some top-of-the-line, high-quality products.
Now, this particular car behind you didn't get the Geon paint treatment, the ceramic coating, because it had a number of scratches on it that were pretty deep.
Yeah, well, it was purchased pre-owned, and it had been done by another detail company, and just from experience looking at some of the scratches, you could tell that they got pretty aggressive with it. So once we measured the paint, we decided that some of the defects were just a little too deep to take out. And we did manage to get some of the more serious ones out using some sandpaper. And when I say sandpaper, I'm talking like 3,000 grit sandpaper. And then compound and polish it. But we took off just about as much clear as safe to take off, and some of the defects remained. So if we had put this on, it would have just stuck out like a sore thumb.
Okay. We're getting some echo now. Did you just do something different, Jose, by some chance?
I actually hit a wire over here, so I'm going to mute myself.
Okay. All right, Guy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Mike, is it possible to move the computer just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of the car? Because I mean,
Sure.
this is a daily driver, and we're used to seeing F40s and all kind of stuff, Ferraris in there, but this is just a daily driver, and
Yeah.
you just completed this car, correct?
Yeah. I have to finish the windows up in the morning, but the rest of it's
Wow, that looks great.
yeah. I'm pleased with it, but
It's a pretty car.
I don't know if if you can see those scratches or not, if it'll show up in
Yeah.
that light. But anyway, it's got some pretty deep scratches left on the hood. Now that entire hood was I sanded and polished back out, so
Wow.
it's been pretty aggressively polished. So that's and I wasn't happy with putting the coating on it and charging the man a significant amount for that and not having it look good to me.
Right. Well,
So
you have to explain to folks that the coating will bring out the defects as well as bring out the beauty. So if you've got a car that has some problems, it's going to accentuate those problems. And then again, if you have a car that doesn't have any problems and it's all in very good shape, it's going to accentuate that too in a good light.
yeah, and the synthetic waxes, all waxes and sealants, they have a tendency to fill in some minor defects. So the car will look good. Now in 6 or 8 months, he'll need to do it again. But
Right.
other than that, the car's been really polished well, so it'll look a whole lot better the next time he does it. He likes to take care of it himself, so that'll
Very
work.
good. All right. Very good. Well, Mike will be back with you in just a few moments. We got a couple other people to talk to. So
Sure.
hang in there, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Dave Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. Good evening, Mr. Dave.
Good evening. I just heard a noise, and that wasn't me that did that.
Well, God knows it could be anything, folks. Tonight, Dave Winward has just found out about Google Effects, and Dave likes to play around, so he may have some fun with this. I don't know, but anyway, it's good to have you here this evening. Jasper Engines and Transmissions, no playing around there. You take that business seriously, of course, and you're a distributor, a sales representative for Jasper, and I know you're my sales representative. You do a great job. So tell us about some of the things that are going on at Jasper. What kind of sales are we talking about for 2014? Was it a good year?
It was absolutely the best year we've ever had in the history of the company.
Fantastic. And you're 100% associate owned, so
Yeah.
that means every single employee is doing well.
Yeah, and we're excited about some acquisitions we made. Weller Truck Parts, we acquired them in 2014, and that's really going to help out the company. And right now, we're just actively trying to employ more people out in the Midwest in Indiana. And I think we needed about 300 slots, and we're upwards of 200 that we hired in 2014. And I did hear that we are over 2,000 employees. So that's a big benchmark there.
Very good. Very good. Well, I've been out to your factory in Jasper, Indiana, and the three factory, should I say, the three tours. And I'll tell you, I was very impressed again of how great things are there and how employees seem to be happy. I mean, you're talking about a manufacturing plant. I don't think you go to too many manufacturing plants in America where everybody seems to look happy. Okay? But really, you guys do. And I know it's not an act. People do enjoy working there.
Yeah, and one of the other, I guess, not so common things about our company is we have a very open door policy. We invite our competitors to our facility so they can see what we're doing. Because we want to be the benchmark. We want to set the benchmark to where we would like to see the industry heading.
I agree, and as I said, I've had the tour twice. Once in 1999, and then last year 2014. And first of all, incredible difference between those 15 years. It was day and night, but also, I mean, it really is a well-run organization. But you're right, there wasn't any rooms that we couldn't go in. I mean, if we really wanted to talk to the CEO and we wanted to walk in his office, we probably could do that.
Yeah, and I think that morning that we showed up, the Zach Bobble was sitting at his desk, and we were there pretty early in the morning. I think it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, and he was already there.
Right.
And
it was his office was visible from where we walked in.
Yep, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah. Very good. So more transmissions than engines, huh?
Yeah. I think we might average 300 plus transmissions a day and average 200 plus transmissions, or 300 plus transmissions, 200 plus engines.
Wow, that's impressive. That is impressive. All right, so what do you have for us tonight? I know that you have a contest for us, correct?
Yeah, always have a contest. We didn't
Good.
get a correct answer last week.
Okay.
I've got some information, a neat little video. Of course, during the remanufacturing process, we have to scrap a lot of metal. So when we were on tour, I took just a quick little video clip of some of the trailers that were separating the aluminum and the steel and the cast iron, because we send all that out and have it recycled, and that actually puts a lot of money back in our in our pockets that we can use for further growth and everything else. So the amount of scrap that we create can sometimes be very outstanding.
Right. Okay, well, go ahead and show the video, sir, and then after that, we'll go talk to Jose for a few moments, and then we'll come back to you for the contest.
Gotcha. So what I'll share with you is just this is just one section. We have a couple different factories, but this is just one of the sections of our main facility in Jasper. And I think as I pan through, they're flatbed trailers with small sides on, but you'll be able to see the. Let's see.
Okay.
That is a piece of scrap. I'll talk about that in a second. But
okay.
So that first was this was cast iron.
Right.
You can see just a bunch of blocks, and we might fill that whole thing up in 2 days. So this is pretty much a fresh trailer.
And that's what people don't understand is you don't remanufacture everything. There are some things that are so far damaged that can't be remanufactured.
Yeah, and cast iron, I don't know what it's going for per pound, but that's a lot of weight there.
Yep.
And then this looks like a lot of sheet metal, maybe it's steel.
Okay.
I see a lot of transmission pans. A lot of the shavings during the lathing processes when we're machining, say, a torque converter, creates almost like a string of steel, and you just get these balls. It's like a giant ball of steel wool, and that all that ends up weighing weight too. So we throw that. I think this third trailer may be aluminum. Yeah, these look like these are aluminum cases, and all transmission stuff, and then some of the old Cadillac engines had aluminum blocks. So again, we can fill up these trailers in just a matter of days, and they're off and sent right to the recycler, and then we're getting our scrap metal money.
And the recycler must like you guys.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Very good. So it's good to see that you guys are recycling everything that you don't use. And we know, of course, really your company is a recycler in the first place because that's what remanufacturers do. They take things that most people would say that's not worth anything and make something out of it.
Yep, absolutely. We feel we may be one of the first green companies.
Yeah.
There you go. That is true. You've been doing it since 1948, is it?
42.
42. Yeah, right in the middle of World War II that Jasper started. That's incredible.
I got a question.
Sure.
Okay.
Do like the big three manufacturers ever come to you and say, hey, what are you finding wrong with our stuff?
They may, because when we get all the cores back in, we can see inherent problems, like whatever it may be. We're seeing it over and over and over again, and there might be some interaction between us and the big three. Sometimes we're still competing against them because they're also putting engines out for sale. But the big three, none of them actually remanufacture their own products. And they're all contracted out by other companies. Yeah. And say Dodge has a company that has a 3-year contract, it's not Dodge, so it's done to Dodge specifications. But Dodge is simply giving them the okay and having them put their name on. So we feel if one of the big three says we need you to remanufacture this back to OE specs, which is fine. But if we find a spec that we need to change, because there's a problem with that spec, we're able to change it. We don't have to ask permission. We just do it.
Yeah.
Keep in mind one thing, though, when the other manufacturers like General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler decide to let other companies remanufacture their engines for sale, keep in mind the two key words you have to remember: lowest bid.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, that's who they're usually accepting, the lowest bid, the cost per engine. So that's something to scare. And I mean, there are many engines and transmissions that Jasper engines have done more than 10 modifications to.
Sure. Yeah, it's the old question. Would you want to be on a rocket ship that was manufactured by the lowest bidder?
I hear you. I hear you. Well, Dave, we'll be back with you in just a few moments for your contest. We appreciate that.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, we're going to get Jose unmuted now, and we're going to talk to Jose Bueso. Jose Bueso is from Dynamic Automotive. You are Toddless.
Yes, he's not with us tonight. He had to go home and attend to some domestic issues.
Family matters.
Family matters.
There you go. Well, tell Todd we missed him, and Happy New Year to Todd. Happy New Year to you guys all, by the way. Thank you very much for being with us this year. It's great to have you.
It's always nice to be here. Thank you.
Very good. So, Jose, you are a partner in Dynamic Automotive, 3 locations in the Frederick vicinity. New Market. We also have the Urbana location and Liberty Town, where you're at. Yes. The mind sometimes doesn't work. So tell us a little bit about those 3 locations and what kind of business Dynamic Automotive is.
Well, our original location started in New Market in 1995. So we've been in business, actually, this coming up March, it will be 20 years.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Very good, very good.
And if you want service performed at that location, that phone number is 301-694-5460. My partner, Lee Foreman, operates that location, and we have a very decent manager by the name of Sarah that really runs the show over there. She does a fine job. That's our original location, and in a lot of ways that's the busiest location. The smallest location actually being the busiest.
I guess per square footage you're talking about, yes.
Per square footage.
The volume doesn't come anywhere near Urbana.
Yeah. No, actually, in numbers, the Urbana location, our 3rd location, which has the largest square footage, just around 12,000 square feet, that operation does most of the numbers there, the highest numbers there in cars. The car wash will bring in the neighborhood of 1,200 vehicles per month, I would say, if not more. And the Quick Lube brings in a steady amount also, and then there's a general repair shop, which is 9 bays. They do quite a bit of work over there also, and they're open 7 days a week. So it's quite a big difference there in an operation. But when you take into consideration scale by scale, pound for pound, the New Market location has historically done so much more work than any of the other 2 locations. Pound for pound, it's muscle bound, and it really is incredible. When you go onto that lot, there are cars parked 3 rows deep at any given time, and constantly year round, we're working outside of the bays at that location.
Oh, they love that in the wintertime. That's for sure.
And we had to pour a concrete pad in front of the entire facility, and we have portable jacks that we use out there that are capable of lifting the cars so we can do service there.
Now, how many technicians do you have at that location?
That location has 1 A tech, 1 B tech, and 1 C tech, and then there's Lee, my partner, who can't stay away from the shop. He's always got to have his hands dirty. He's in there too. Yeah.
All right.
So they're really churning out the work. Over here at my location, which is the Liberty Town location, it's Todd as an A-Tech. We have Scott as a solid B-Tech, A-Tech. Actually, Scott is very strong when it comes to technical terms also. And then myself. And then we have the lovely Darlene, who floats in from time to time and keeps us straight.
Darlene, I don't care what you say, she's an A-Tech.
Yeah, she's an A-Tech. Yeah. So it's really a nice family of workers, employees, friends, and there's a lot of good camaraderie, and we love to get the work in here, and we love to get it out properly.
Sure. And how was 2014 for Dynamic Automotive, all three locations?
It actually did the best numbers that we've seen so far. So
Right.
as a company, we keep on growing. Since 2009, we've grown an average of, I would say, about 10% gross per year. So
Fantastic. Very good.
yeah. So business keeps on increasing, and a lot of that is Urbana and that area developing.
Right.
There's a lot of population moving into that area, a lot of new housing. They're breaking ground on new commercial sites all the time. For Frederick County, that's probably the hottest area around.
Very good. Well, good being with you. I want you to hang around just a little bit. 301-694-6250 is the number that Jose is at, and you can always call him Monday through Friday and Saturday mornings, and he'll be more than happy to talk to you and make an appointment if you like, or just give you some advice. A very, very knowledgeable man in the automobile repair business, and we're glad to have you guys. Thank you, Jose. Be back with you in just a few moments.
Okay, Dave, thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you to mute yourself again because I know I was echoing a little bit while I was talking to you, so if you don't mind doing that, that would be great. I'm going to try to click on myself, and I'm going to freeze again, so that's not good. Let's see what we got here. And there we go. We've unfrozen for the time being. I want to talk real quick before I freeze up. We are going to be doing our show live from actually Massachusetts this Saturday. I'm going to be going up for the Ravens game in Massachusetts in Foxborough against the dreaded New England Patriots, and I'm going to be using the BG subsidiary, BG distributor up there in Massachusetts. I've already let them know that I'll probably be in Ravens garb. The guy said, "Oh no, hell no, you won't." So we'll see how that goes. But we're going to be doing the show live from there. And they're going to open up the building for me. We'll get a phone line and do that. So we're going to do the first 3 hours. We're going to do, unfortunately, Jose, the Frederick show is not going to be live this Saturday. I apologize. But Frederick's having a problem. The station is having a problem with equipment, and I can't do my show remotely from them yet. They're getting that taken care of soon. So I apologize for that. But there will be a recorded program on. The commercials will still run, and we'll still get that going on. But it's going to be an interesting show.
That sounds good, Dave. I actually listened to the show, and I do listen to it. This past Saturday, you guys sounded good, actually. I was tuning in. Yeah.
Well, appreciate that. But, you know, you're always welcome to call in, by the way. You know that.
I was tempted to. I was running around town, and I almost called in, especially when I heard Michael talking, and I thought, man, I should give them a call. But
absolutely,
I will in the future.
Please feel free to do that, Jose. Okay?
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
Good. We'd love to have you do that. All right. Well, let's go on back to Mr. Mike Lambert since we're talking about him. My goodness gracious. Okay, and a little bit more to know about the Shine Shop. You're really one car per day, is it, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's just really no way to do full paint corrections in a half a day or anything like that. It's just, it takes a lot of time. So that's.
You started on this car at 8 o'clock, right?
I start, yeah, about 8:15, and I finished it a little bit after 4.
Okay.
And it took me, I spent about an hour and a half on the inside, so the inside was pretty clean. So the rest of the time was spent on the outside of the car.
And I know Lena pretty good. She's cracking the whip. So, you know, you had a bologna and cheese sandwich around 12 o'clock, and that's it.
Well, I got lucky today. She was out shoveling snow because her boss told her not to come in, so I got to sit down and have a whole sandwich today.
Wow. You got to eat in the big house.
Yeah, I got to go inside with the dogs and eat. So.
There you go. There you go. So what's on the agenda for tomorrow? You said there's going to be a Hyundai Santa Fe for Friday. What's for tomorrow?
I'm doing tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. We haven't heard from the client, but I think it's an Acura MDX is what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And then Thursday I'm doing one of her boss's vehicles.
Okay.
Which is usually some kind of truck. And Friday we're doing the Hyundai Santa Fe, and Saturday I have a 2015 Porsche GT3 that's coming from the dealership.
Wow.
So that'll.
That's what about $300,000 car?
I honestly don't know, Dave. I haven't got a hold on, but they're finally being delivered again. They had a major problem with the engines,
Mm-hmm.
where Porsche just came and picked your car up. They didn't want you driving it because of the fire hazard.
Wow.
And they redid and reinstalled new engines in all of them.
Wow.
And from what I understand from one of my clients who has one, they went through a big hassle with the EPA and the government as far as VIN numbers and things like that because they were putting new motors in.
Really? So the EPA was saying, hey, since you're doing a new motor, this needs to be re-VINed?
Yeah, had to be recertified. Yeah, so that was a big delay. I mean, this gentleman's waited 2 years for this car.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah, because they had a bunch of them out on the street. Then they had this problem, so they had to take care of those first.
Right.
Which means they didn't have enough engines because they're all hand-built engines.
Right.
And there was only so many of them, so that's what's taking so long.
Wow. Well,
yeah,
anyway,
it'll be interesting.
We were talking Saturday about the Toyota Tacoma that you did. You did a 2014 Tacoma?
It's a 15, actually.
Oh, okay, 2015. Okay.
It was late in the year, 14, but they consider it a 15.
Yeah, that's
but
right. Yeah, we figured that out by the VIN number. Yes, it had the
really,
code, I think. Yeah.
Really nice truck. I'm really impressed with what they've done for the interiors. I haven't had a Toyota truck for years, but they've really done a nice job of the truck, and it was a limited production color. It was sort of a pearlescent orange.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a TRD model, had all the race stuff on it and high performance shocks and all that stuff. But that was a real nice truck to work on. Very
good. All right, well, Mike, we thank you so much. Your phone number is 410-833-1632. Your website, as mentioned on the bottom, on the lower third, is theshineshopautodetailing.com. And that's the place where everybody can really find out everything about you, including your pricing.
Yeah, we don't hide anything, and people are welcome to call with just questions. I get that a lot, so that's fine. We don't mind that at all.
Now, is it okay to talk about the price of the car behind you?
Oh, sure. It's
this one here was just a synthetic wax job because you couldn't put the Geon on, correct?
Correct. It just had some defects that were a little too. It was unsafe to remove them. I'll say it that way.
Okay.
They're just too deep, and I mean, certainly the car is 110% better than what it was when it got here. But it's just the Geon would just make the defects that we couldn't remove stick out. So we felt it was better to put a synthetic wax on it, and the customer takes care of it himself very well. So he can come back next year if he needs to. But it's $325 for that, and that's inside and out.
And you know what, folks? I don't know how everybody feels in the listening audience right now, but if I had somebody work on my car for 8 hours and they only charged me $325, in today's world, that's unbelievably reasonable.
Well, we we don't have, as you know, we don't have major overhead, so we can keep our prices pretty reasonable. And I'll be.
I mean, have a plumber come out to your house for 8 hours, and you are in serious due. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have a mechanic come out to your. You know, you if we charge 8 hours worth of labor at our shop, okay, we're talking about, $720.
Yeah. Yeah, we're actually for. I don't take this the wrong way, but we're actually pretty cheap for the work that we do, the amount of work we put into a car.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't have a ton of overhead because we're at our house actually, and in our area we're pretty well maxed out price wise.
Right.
So it's just we're comfortable with what we make, and we're happy. We pay the bills. Nobody's knocking on the door for us, so that's always a good thing. But
they're knocking on the door. They're knocking on the door for your services, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's why they're knocking on the door, which is good. So we've been very lucky. And anywhere else towards you get towards the DC area, anything like that, what I did to this car today cost you about $800 or $900.
Right. Very good.
Thank
you, Mr. Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, and you'll join us this Saturday for the radio show every Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, and also 9 o'clock. Mike is on my radio program as a guest, giving us information on detailing, and you can find that on the web at daveserio.com. All right, we'll be back with you, mister.
I'll be at Hunt Valley this Saturday. I was told I would be at Hunt Valley this Saturday because the wife needs bagels, even though it's going to be 90 degrees. So.
Last week she didn't get her bagels, and you found out it's better to get her bagels during the weekend, isn't it?
Exactly. So I was told I will be at Hunt Valley Saturday morning at 19 degrees.
All right, very good. Well, it's going to be cold up in north also. It's supposed to be
Yes.
clear for my game up there in New England, but 28 degrees is the high. So I'll
Yeah.
be ready.
Good for
All right.
you.
Thank you, buddy.
See
All
ya.
right, we're going to Dave Winward from Jasper Engines, and Dave, you've got a contest for us, I believe.
I do. I wanted to share one quick picture.
Sure.
This is when I was speaking about the scrap metal. I'm
Yeah.
sure this piece ended up in scrap, but we are actually casting our own blocks for the 2.5 post office engine.
Okay.
And that's in those little post office LLVs that drive around. LLV stands for long life vehicle. But
Yeah.
we all know what they look like. But this, we're not doing the casting in-house. We actually sub that out.
Okay.
But when we get these samples sometimes back, or we'll just do a spot check, we'll take a giant bandsaw and cut one in half, and just to inspect all the water jackets, all the different oil ports. So what you're looking at is an engine that's been chopped right down the middle.
Okay.
And, over at the bottom, you can see the crankshaft journal. Over to the bottom left hand, you can see with the camshaft, and there's the lifter bore, and then the cylinder bore, and you can see the water jackets around the outside, because we want the casting process to be perfect, so we want to see what the inside of that block looks like too. And
Right.
These 2.5s are getting really, really tough because the post office uses so many of them for so long that the castings just wear out. And we're one of the few companies that can even provide these to the post office. And I've heard some of our competitors have lead times of several weeks, and I can probably send you, a handful of these things tomorrow. I mean, how many do you want? We got them. So it's
Right.
been a neat process for us. So I just wanted
Now,
to.
who makes the 2.5 engine for this?
It's the GM. I think some
Okay.
people. I think they called it the Iron Duke. They put them in S10 pickup trucks, I believe, for a long time.
We change the letter D to P every once in a while, but we understand.
Oh, yeah. But and I do have
Very
a
good.
contest.
Okay, well, let's do the contest, mister. By the way, just letting everybody know, the first person with the correct answer to Dave's email, which is jasperman73@gmail.com, will be the winner of
A hat.
ooh, okay,
Well,
a Jasper camouflage hat.
Yeah, and
All right.
it's either going to be black or camouflage. I'll see what's in my inventory. But
Okay.
the T-shirts I've been promising everyone with the cool logo have not come in yet. I don't know. It might be a while. I have no idea. So
Okay.
this is off to my the other side is what tool is that? And
Okay.
real common tool. We use them in a lot of remanufacturing processes. And yeah, jasperman73@gmail.com. What's the name of that tool? And you get a hat.
All right. Very good. I know the answer. No, sorry. Okay.
Not you, Dave.
I'm disqualified. First correct answer at jasperman73@gmail.com will have a Jasper hat coming their way through the U.S. Postal Service.
Yes, with a 2.5 Iron Duke delivering it.
There you go.
I'll tell you what,
There you go.
they were running 7 days a week this year. We were getting
Yes.
back on Sunday, and let me tell you, they tore up some of those wagons.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, all of the delivery companies, UPS, and FedEx, and all of them were unbelievably busy this holiday season because so many people went online to buy their Christmas gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing. It really is. And, you don't think about that, but we look at it and say, oh, 2-day shipping, okay. And we just expected. I mean, there were some shippings that were late this year because they were just way too many parcels.
Oh.
Unreal.
My wife and I were heading up to see some Christmas lights up at the Hers pretzel factory. And
Right.
on the way through Conowingo, we saw a post office wagon that had been rear-ended, and there were packages all over the road and in the ditch. And I was just thinking, oh, man. And they looked like
I hate that happen.
half of them were Christmas presents.
Yeah, that's such a shame. And my UPS guy was working Christmas time. He was working between 14 and 16 hours a day.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's unreal. So those guys need a break, I tell you. Well, thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to unmute Mr. Jose and go back to Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive. You got anything to add there, mister, of what's going on? Todd usually is the one that tells us what's going on in the shop, but you can more than happy to tell us that.
Sure, we've got a variety of things going on now. We've got water pumps, radiators, electrical systems that are giving us issues, and we're fixing them all up. Things are rolling along rather nicely over here. The snow, I'm sure, will produce some additional work. The snow and the cold, I should say, because it's always the cold weather that produces additional repairs. I wanted to touch on the Iron Duke motor, though. Boy, do I remember that motor. That four-cylinder. It's a tough little motor. In the 80s, we used to get those motors in, and they would knock. And it wasn't from a rod or a main bearing that was going bad. At that time, they had configured this motor as running 2 gears between the crankshaft and the camshaft, and since then they've changed that configuration, I believe, to a chain. But at that time you had 2 gears, and GM used to pay warranty time around 7.5 hours to replace this timing gear specifically, which was made out of a fiber composite material. And
smart move, by the way. Smart move, yes.
Yeah.
Two gears that are the essential part of the engine, and they're made of fiber. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and they would knock, and GM would pay warranty time about 7.5 hours to replace this item because they figured you'd have to take that whole assembly apart, including the camshaft, disassembling everything. And we figured out that if you could drill holes on either side of the flange of the camshaft gear and use a puller, we would actually put threads into that gear and use a puller, we could pop those gears out, and we would have the job done in less than 3 hours. Usually it took about 2.5 hours. Wow. And this went widespread through the dealerships. We all communicated with each other at that time. Technical service bulletins came out, and GM, within a year and a half of finding out what was going on and us revamping the procedure, they quickly changed their labor time down from 7.5 to roughly 3 hours.
Right.
So
you know, we
don't tell anybody.
That's exactly. From now on, you learn your lesson. You keep it to yourself.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, we learned quite a bit there with that Iron Duke motor. I have a version of that motor. It's a 3-liter. That's in my boat. It's an inboard-outboard Merc Cruiser, and what a strong little engine that is. So that motor, no wonder the post office uses it. It's solid as a rock.
Yeah. Now, is that a timing chain motor in your 3.0, or is that gears?
It is a timing chain motor in the boat, and somehow they either stroked the motor or made the bores larger. I'm not really sure. Mike probably knows better than I do, or Dave rather, what they've done to that motor to increase the displacement, and they went so far in other versions to increase the displacement to 3.7 liters. So it's miraculous what they can do with that little thing, and it's been around since the 60s.
And I didn't want to badmouth the 2.5, but because of the reason of all the problems with the timing gears when they first came out. I mean, let's be honest. You were talking about warranty time. Okay, that's when General Motors did not offer a 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. That was 336, and these problems were happening before the miles 36,000 miles.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you know, to be honest with you, that motor, even though it had the knock, and if that gear held together, you could drive that engine knocking for a good 100,000 miles. It was noise between the gears, but it was a misengineered motor or composite material that they had to straighten out.
And they actually went to a chain after that, correct?
Yeah, with later configurations, they ended up going to a chain. Thankfully.
Smart move. Which is weird because they went from a chain. I mean, it was somebody's brilliant idea to get rid of the chain in the first place. And turned out, you know, the chain was too durable, I guess. I don't figure that stuff out. Can't figure it out sometimes. Jose, thank you so much for being with us. Your phone number, once again, at Dynamic Automotive is 694-6250. We want to remind our listeners that if you use Dynamic Automotive, any one of their 3 locations, and we highly recommend that, by the way, if you're in the Frederick area, to mention my name, Dave Serio, or the radio program You Ought to Know, and you guys will just give them 10% right off the top.
Right. We'll give them 10% off parts and labor, and happy to do so if they mention You Ought to Know or Dave Serio, and that does happen quite a bit over here.
Good. We're glad to hear that. Thank you. We appreciate your business, appreciate you dealing with us. And it's going to be a fun day this Saturday. I hope everything goes well with the phone lines. That's the only thing that's scary. Normally when we do a live remote, we go to the location and we try out the phone line first to make sure everything works. We can't do that this time. I'm not going to be up there till after business hours on Friday. So we get there Saturday morning. They say they hope they have a phone line that we can use, and let's hope it works. So we'll see what happens.
Good luck to you, Dave. I'm sure you'll have a good time up there.
Thank you, sir. All right, I'm Dave Serio, and you are watching You Ought to Know live right here Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. We thank you very much for joining us. On behalf of Mike Lambert from the Shine Shop, Jose Bueso from Dynamic Automotive, David Winward from Jasper Engines and Transmissions, my name is Dave Serio. I am host of the radio program You Ought to Know and owner of a repair facility in Bel Air called Vehicle Service Plus. We wish the Ravens good luck. I'll be up there. Let's give New England a heck of a time, and let's come back with a win, and then we'll see who wins the other game to find out where we go after that. I'm Dave Serio, part of the Hangout10.com network. Have yourself a good night. We'll talk to you again Tuesday night. Bye-bye now.